Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm the inspirational Andy Murray from WhatCulture. And remember, if you close your eyes, all that you have sodomized may become unsodomized.
And this is the news.
So, we're leading off in much the same way as we did yesterday. We're going to talk about John Oliver because that thing is still doing the rounds all across wrestling media. So obviously Mr. Oliver came out on his, what's the show called again? I forgot. Last Week Tonight. We don't get it over here. I apologise. With a big spiel on WWE, their treatment of their employees as independent contractors. This caused all kinds of rambunctions throughout wrestling media. People were talking about this thing all day, and WWE have actually issued a statement directly to us here at WhatCulture after our coverage of it yesterday. It is simply titled, John Oliver Ignores Facts. So I'll just read out the statement that they sent to us. John Oliver is clearly a clever and humorous entertainer. However, the subject matter covered in his WWE segment is no laughing matter. Prior to airing, WWE responded to his producers refuting every point in his one-sided presentation. John Oliver simply ignored the facts. The health and wellness of our performers is the single most important aspect of our business, and we have a comprehensive and long-standing talent wellness program. We invite John Oliver to attend WrestleMania this Sunday to learn more about our company. Interesting one, that they think they can kind of just wash away the whole thing with a little bit of schmoozing.
The big takeaway here is that WWE get their news from us.
From the boys.
Hi, Vince.
Hey.
No, this is really interesting. Do you think he's going to go to WrestleMania? I mean, I wouldn't turn it down, to be
No,
honest.
I don't think he will. I think that he might say to them, well, I mean, if you start treating your employees like actual employees, I might come to WrestleMania. I don't think he would. I think that his kind of disgust with the way they do business came off very strongly in that segment. And it would probably go against his principles to just kind of show up without a promise that something's going to change. Now, WWE's statement is pretty interesting because what Oliver said wasn't necessarily new information. This is something that people have been saying for ages and ages and ages. Guys like CM Punk, who actually tweeted out in response to the whole thing, understandably delighted, he said, my britches, please retweet Last Week Tonight, I love you, John Oliver. So unsurprising there from Punk. No, I don't think he'll show up. I don't think that WWE have anything in mind other than kind of just trying to coddle him around. But it's interesting nonetheless, they are very defensive.
Yeah, I'm hoping this will be the catalyst for change. AEW have been putting pressure on them as a result of all this. And now the spotlight is on them. They often try and hold their ground and eventually just sort of change things a little bit. In some cases, Saudi Arabia being the obvious exception.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a colossal change of internal philosophy in the way they do business. It would obviously be a step in the right direction, but I think perhaps hoping for it is maybe a step too far, even though it's something they really should have done a long time ago. Now, just as a little addendum at the end of this segment here, the WWE locker room's reaction has apparently been very split. This is according to Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful.com, who reached out to several members of the active roster. One who said that basically it isn't really considered much must-watch material. A lot of people had actually skipped it in the locker room. One called it a home run, another said it was very, very interesting, while another person just kind of called John Oliver a hack. So split right down the middle. Interesting stuff there. The performers obviously perhaps have more of an enlightened perspective on it, but at the same time, they're not exactly going to come out and speak too harshly against their company, even though they have anonymity. So, interesting situation here, and we will bring you all the updates, including whether or not John Oliver will show up at WrestleMania and turn into the new Jon Stewart.
Indeed. Really interesting debate in the comment section on our video as well yesterday, so have it out a little bit more.
Between the SJWs and the Cooks.
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen next between John Oliver and with the WWE going forward? We will move on now. Andy Murray, what is your favourite ABBA song?
The winner takes all.
That is correct, because as Stephanie McMahon revealed on Raw last night, the winner is going to take it all in the main event of WrestleMania, in the match between Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey, SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, and Royal Rumble winner Becky Lynch. The winner of that match will win both of the big women's titles.
Both belts. That's really interesting. Stephanie came out at the top of the show, really mercifully short segment. She teased adding herself to the match, which was big banter.
My heart did skip a beat for a split second.
It really did. I was absolutely petrified.
When she said, I'm going to add another person, I thought, oh God, don't throw in Asuka. And then when she said her, I went,
myself. Yeah, this is interesting because it was kind of reported that it would be a situation where Both belts would be on the line, but to lose your belt, you would have to be pinned. Fortunately, that's not come to fruition because that would have been a little bit confusing. Now, someone is guaranteed to leave with 2 championships, which is big, big news. They will be the undisputed alpha female of the WWE. There's no implication at the moment that WWE are actually going to merge the belts, so it'll be extremely interesting to see how they walk out of WrestleMania with a double champion flirting around both brands. That could lead to some really exciting storytelling possibilities. And I think that, to be honest, this is probably the right move, right? It makes the event so prestigious, it means the result matters so much more.
Yeah, I agree. And I, as much as I keep arguing, I think they should merge the belts. You could quite easily see with the next pay-per-view following WrestleMania being Money in the Bank, that you can take the belt off, probably, fingers crossed, the champ Becky Lynch by just shenanigans rather than having her being defeated in normal competition. So.
Yeah, chicanery and hijinks.
Exactly.
In other WrestleMania news, we now know that Finn Balor will indeed be wrestling as the Demon. Yeah. He will, of course, face Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental Championship. So this came about on Raw. Bobby Lashley was doing an in-ring interview with Charlie Caruso and, of course, his manager, Leo Rush.
24-year-old piece of gold.
That's the one. He basically said, Bobby said something along the lines of, if I can beat Balor, I can beat the Demon too, prompting Balor to appear on the screen, say something along the lines of, my demon will become your nightmare. It was very cheesy, make a funny noise, turn into the Demon. This was really weird, but I guess it does effectively guarantee that Balor is going to win at WrestleMania unless WWE are mental and decide to burn that gimmick.
No, yeah.
Can you imagine?
Two good things coming out of this. One, he didn't turn into the Pumpkin Demon, which can always be worse.
Yeah.
And two, if you're going to WrestleMania like we are, you get the chance to see the Demon
like
live.
we are, just throw that in.
Yeah. I'm really ecstatic. I think, and also I think the match can be improved. It is a fairly bland match without him becoming the Demon.
Gives it a bit of extra sauce, doesn't it? A bit of that premium spice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to it too.
Yeah, can't wait. Hopefully it's a squash.
But yeah, just destroy him, please. Our final news story of today concerns events on Monday Night Raw. And if you watched it like me thinking, I swear they booked Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio for this show, and then that just didn't happen. Well, according to Dave Meltzer on Sunday's Wrestling Observer, basically that was the plan, and then they suddenly went, oh, bollocks, we can't have one of them lose this close to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So they scrapped that match, and in the end they just had Rey Mysterio lose clean to Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin instead. Is that not just the most WWE thing in the universe? We can't have this guy lose, so we're going to have him lose anyway.
We'll have him lose but just someone else.
It's really weird. Does that mean that they view a loss to Baron Corbin as being more believable than a loss to Kurt Angle? In which case, I'm all for it.
He's the best technical wrestler on the roster.
Listen, constable, leader, legend. The man's an icon.
Spoiler.
I love how many nerd tears he drank at the end of that main event segment. Everyone was fuming.
He's still barely getting a match out of Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. I still think Cena's going to do something.
Yeah, there's going to be some shenanigans, isn't there?
But yeah, really enjoyable. But if you're wondering why, Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle didn't take place.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
They didn't want either man to lose, so they just didn't have Kurt Angle not wrestle, instead just come out and attack Baron Corbin to close out the show, and instead had Rey Mysterio, who did get a bit of an injury, to be fair, so they could sort of use that as a bit of an excuse, bit of a delay after he hit the 619, etc., etc. And then, Corbin hit the end of days, which is a sweet finisher to win that match. Let's move on to today's Twitter questions, though, at WhatCulture WWE, if you want to ask us absolutely anything. Sean Acklin starts us off. He says, let's pretend we actually have power, like WWE claims. For WrestleMania, what matches would you place on the pre-show?
Ooh, Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor, even if it is the Demon. I'm sorry, I don't care. I care about the entrance, that's about it. Probably the Raw tag. Like, if they end up booking the Revival against Black and Ricochet, we've just seen it on Raw. They're only going to give it 6 minutes. Fair enough, if they were giving it 15 to 20, absolutely put it on the main show, but they're not going to do that. And probably both Battle Royals. I don't care about the Battle Royals.
Triple H versus... No, of course not. I agree. I certainly think the women's Battle Royal will go on the pre-show. I think the Andre the Giant, what with Braun being in it, and of course the two SNL goobers, they are going to chuck that probably on the main show relatively early on.
What are they called again? Frank and Dave. That's it.
Michael Che and Colin Jost, I think is how you pronounce his surname.
Steve and Clive.
Got absolutely destroyed by Braun Strowman by two people cosplaying as them.
Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby.
And I'm going to go with... I'm probably the Cruiserweight match. Why change a habit of a lifetime?
Oh, poor buddy, man.
They deserve it. They should be on the main roster. But if I'm thinking the way WWE think, it's being chucked on the pre-show. Wrestling Lie Detector asks, I think it's safe to say Dean Ambrose is officially gone. I was in DC for Raw and his merchandise was 20% cheaper than literally everyone else's merch. Every single t-shirt in that building was $35 besides Dean. In your eyes, is he gone?
Yeah, I think he's done. Obviously, the story came out a few weeks ago saying that the man's done, and then he appeared on Raw the very next night, which obviously kind of put that to end. But no, Dean's done if they're selling merch for cheap prices. It felt very much like a write-off the other week as well. He's done, he's gone, he's not coming back. It's not a work, you silly sausage.
It is a massive work. Everyone's being worked here. Look, we learnt last year that love is a work, and I love Dean Ambrose, and he is going to make an appearance probably at WrestleMania. The way they're building Roman versus Drew, he's either going to make an appearance there or make an appearance on the Raw after WrestleMania. Don't believe everything you see and hear. It's a work, and we may well get a pasty bet out of it. Matthew Grossman, today's final question. He says, hey guys, with the WWE running out of people to put in the Hall of Fame, which is probably true, do you think we'll see some ECW, WCW guys, sort of, I suppose, more purer ones that maybe didn't make the leap over to WWE, be put in the next few years?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. They are really running out of people, particularly in terms of headliners and stuff. Now, obviously, you have guys like The Rock, Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista, all those people could potentially go in as headliners. But even under that, like myself and the great Michael Hamlet actually did an article for the website the other day. It was 100 wrestlers not in the Hall of Fame ranked, and we were forced to put in guys like Taka Michinoku and like all these other people, Bill Apter. Like it's really thin. They throw in so many people every single year. There's so many banter people in there already. Coco Beware, the Godfather. Yeah, absolutely. Get guys like Sabu, the Sandman, Shane Douglas, why not, for the banter?
I think most casual wrestling fans view the WWE Hall of Fame, I know there are a lot of other wrestling Hall of Fames out there, as the most prestigious, most well-recognized
Which is hilarious.
one. But you just need WWE to swallow their pride and accept that they aren't the only place that people did wrestling in the 80s and 90s and every time before
It's a banter Hall of Fame, isn't it, the WWE one? It's just like, hey, you're in.
Like, I think arguably you could draw people back in by saying, oh, this hero of yours from another wrestling promotion, we recognise that he may never have come here, but he deserves to be recognised.
I mean, what they should really be doing is looking at people like Misawa, Kobashi, Kawada. Like
that won't happen.
No, it absolutely won't. But it's people like that who they should really be padding these things out with. Maybe do one of them a year. That's a guaranteed entry every single time. Maybe a legend from the Lucha Libre scene as well. Throw these guys in there, pad it out. Produce some of your wonderful, wonderful video packages, which they're always really good at. Let people know who they are and why they deserve to be there. But now we're going to get bloody Al Snow and blooming...
Friend of the channel?
Yeah. I mean, I like Al Snow, but, you know, like, is he a WWE Hall of Famer?
We will get ECW and WCW guys, but don't hold out much hope.
Bob Holly.
Oh, definitely. I'm not going to argue against him. I'm terrified of that man. Right, let's move on to today's and finally, and it is a great WrestleMania image that someone has managed to dig out on Reddit Squared. So if you remember the legendary Shawn Michaels WrestleMania entrance when he comes from the roof, slides down, the shot that they always say whenever they say Mr. WrestleMania.
The classic.
Well, he wasn't the first one to do that. You see, in testing it out, we all know Vince is a mad bastard, and as this image shows, he tried it out before Shawn Michaels did it.
Oh no, Vince, what are you doing, bro?
Like, that's the owner of the company. I reckon they didn't even get someone like a stuntman to test it, or like a safety person to test it out. He probably they chucked it up and
I'll do it myself, pal.
I'll try it out.
Oh, look at that zip line. Oh.
Any more random old school photos of Vince McMahon, I would love to see more of them. That is just unbelievable.
What a nut job, man. I love him. I love him. The OG big man.
Can't hate him. Let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And send us your Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Whilst you're there, you can follow both of us. You can follow him at
Andy H. Murray.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. As I said, you can follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. My thanks to Andy. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.